What's awesome about the military, any service, any of the services, is that we spend all our time training you for that day we don't want to happen. So you can take a reservist, an active duty, a guardsman in any service, and we've trained them in that specialty, so you can sub them in, right? So we've built our defense department based on that. There's a full-time force and a part-time force, and the part-time force, years ago in Korea, during the Korean years, the part-time force was just a part-time force. The Gulf War changed all of that. The Gulf War changed all of it. So all the part-time Guard and Reserve members after the Gulf War have contributed so much because the active duty numbers, because of budgetary constrictions, we would shrink the active duty. Well, once you start doing that, the missions, you're not shrinking the mission at all. In fact, the mission grows. Every year the mission grows because of all the hotspots around the world. So you're going to fill it. So we are requiring much more of our Guard and Reserve to fill those positions. So we've created a deployment cycle that we are still working through and changing it even today. How do we make sure that the requirements across the globe are covered, whether it be part-time or full-time? It doesn't matter. And airmen's and airmen's and airmen, right? The reservists and guardsmen don't have the day-to-day repetition that the active component has in their specialty. So when we bring an active or a guardsman into a specialty in the very beginning, we just load them up. Instead of being 3 months long, we'll make it a year long. So we're going to give it all up front. So go to your employer and tell them you're going to be doing this for a year, because we've got to get them up on the step. Readiness is readiness. A readiness for a guardsman, a reservist, or an active component has to be the same. The requirements of a reserve pilot or guard pilot are the same as an active component pilot. You need so many takeoffs and landings, you need so many approaches, you need so many intercepts, you need so many bomb runs. It's all the same, because we have to have, you got to be able to sub in whoever you need to sub in, right?
So how many reservists are there in the Air Force?
68,000 reservists.
And how many active?
Active right now, let's see, over 300,000.
And then how many guardsmen?
Guardsmen, there are roughly, I think, 90,000 now.
So you have all those.
And that's Air Force.
Yeah, that's Air Force.
That's
so
Air
you have
Force.
all those different people from a different. And then how many civilians work in and around this
Civilians
team?
are a huge part of what we do.
Yeah.
Civilians are woven into everything we do.
Right.
So when you look at a team within the Air Force, you can be in a meeting and you don't know who's full-time, who's part-time. You can recognize the civilians only because they're wearing civilian clothes. But you've got a woven team together of all people who have grown up around the culture, within the culture of the Air Force, and understand what the mission is.